Welcome back. It's time for us to have a conversation on the relationship segment now. With the relationship segment, we like to deal with issues that really, pester our lives over the long period of relationships and so on. One of the things that we'll find is that people change. People change whether you're in a relationship or not. People change, right? And so in a relationship, what are some of the changes that we can expect that will definitely happen? Let's take a look at that. And then what to do, when those changes happen. And everything is not about running away or, trying to avoid the changes, but how do we embrace them and then deal with them? Mary Rose Saki is a counselor and entrepreneur. She's joined us to help us to get into this conversation this morning. Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you too?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you. And you've been married for quite a while now, so I'm sure you've got quite a lot of experience to share on this matter. What are at least let's look at the top 5, expected changes that will happen by all means in a long-term relationship?
Yeah. Thank you so much. Like you said, change is inevitable. Our lives are made such that there will be changes. You were not born like this.
No.
You were born a baby, and now you're a full-grown man, and you're even getting grays in your beard. So those are the changes. We are never the same, and it happens in everything. So in our relationships, definitely we're going to have changes. And some of these changes can be normal or abnormal, or they can be positive or negative. Or it can be an advantage to the relationship or disadvantage, whichever way you want to put it. And then we can have changes that can make or break the relationship if it is not handled well. So as these changes are occurring, your attitude, your reaction will determine whether it will break or make the relationship. Because some of these changes come into our lives or into our relationships to even make the relationship better when you are able to overcome them. There's so many changes that will come. Developmental stages, all the stages in different levels. You start as 2 people, and then gradually, if you start making family, you realize children will come in. It brings a lot of change and all that. I don't want to talk about that aspect where children come in, and even though it's still part of, but that will be a different area that we can treat. I want us to focus on you and I, the individual, you and I, the 2 people in the relationship. What you have in between. The first thing, you have attraction, and all that kind of thing. We don't remain the same. That attraction, that physical attraction, would fade, with time. It's not going to be the same because your whole body is going to change. And because as individuals, we are also evolving, our taste changes. But that doesn't mean that when your taste change, hey, you get up and move on. No. Our sex life, our libidos will change. When you are younger, you are young and foolish.
Because young and energetic.
I quoted that the young and foolish because one lady was once telling me about how when she married, before she could say Jackie, the children were coming because they were sexually active. Very active. So she says they were young and foolish in a sense, foolish in a sense, because they didn't even plan. They were just consumed by themselves and just enjoying whatever, and then they were getting the results of babies. Do, re, mi, fa, so every year, or sometimes even a month. You have some people, their children is not exactly 1 year apart. So your libido will change, and you have to also know that you would have difficulties in the relationship as time goes on. There will be rough patches. It will not be all the way smooth. You would have the rough patches. Well, I'm just mentioning them and I'll go into them. You have rough patches, and then you make new friends. You will learn new hobbies. You will learn new things, which also changes you as an individual. And then it has effect on the relationship. So the first one I was talking about, your physical attraction, which eats into your sex life or your libidos and all that. You see, because we see with the eye first, and that is what makes us get attracted to each other. So you see each other, you like something about the person, and this thing that you like, turns on other things. So when you marry at first, or when you enter into relationship when you're married, you just get into, high speed.
Yeah.
Gear 5. And then you go on and on, your libido is so high. A friend of mine many years ago used to say that the prescription for a young couple, when you go to the hospital, they say 1-3 times a day. 1-3 times a day, but then there's some prescription they'll give you 1-3 times a day. Others they'll give you once a day. The others 1-2 times a day. That kind of. But gradually, as time goes on, you realize that the things that even, it's not because you don't love the person, but certain things that used to take you or turn you on might not turn you on any longer. When you have been in a relationship for a long time, that person knows, as soon as I know this, but with time, you realize that no, now you don't want to be touched here, you want to be touched there. Okay. You don't want touching, now you want to be talked to. That works you. Okay. There are different things that can happen to, so that is the sexually differences. Yes, that's the differences. Somebody might want it early in the morning. Somebody would want it late in the night. Somebody might want it hot afternoon. They are the changes that will be occurring. And you have to be able to talk about it and harness it. Don't think that the way you've started is going to be the same. Your partner can lie by you and sleep throughout the night. And you will think that, hey, is there something wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. And that doesn't mean that the relationship is coming to an end. Like they said that, excuse me, sometimes they said the Ashantis, they said, so it means that on permit. Yeah. Because you don't have any.
There's an expectation of
there's an expectation.
What it is that makes you feel loved.
Yes. Yeah. So if you think that your husband is not coming to you, or your wife is not coming to you, or your wife is not responding to your advances.
Maybe as they did before.
Yes, as before, then you think that the person doesn't love you again. No, it's just changes. But then you have to harness, you have to talk about it, you have to be able to know where you can come to some kind of agreement and meet it. Okay. Secondly, you have rough patches. Rough patches, these are positive things, positive changes, because when you're able to work it out, they would help you get closer, because it helps even with your communication and all that. So rough patches could be that you're out of job. Okay. You can have money issues. You can have family issues. Okay. The family issues, like even with the children, extended family, your own issues, all these things can bring a lot of conflict. Sometimes people get conflict because of their children. Okay. Wow. My wife is not giving my children good food or enough food. She's not giving the children more time. Wow. Or and the woman will say, my husband is always out. He doesn't come in early. He leaves at dawn, come back in the night. He doesn't help them with the the children don't see him. He's not helping with the homework. He's not doing anything. These are rough patches that come. It doesn't mean that your marriage is on rocks. Okay. The way you handle it, once again, you have to communicate about it. If you think that you're not happy about what is happening, if the other one is out of job, and you have to find out how you can help to or encourage the other one so that he's not down. Because if you're out of job and you're sitting at home, it can sometimes affect you psychologically. Yes. So how you can weather some of all these money issues. Okay. Money is finance is a very important thing in marriage. It's one of the bedrocks in marriage. But we have to understand that sometimes you might start off, you might have a lot of money. And then you get to a point that either because of misuse or mismanagement, the money will not be there again. Okay. So many things can happen. Sometimes it might not be mismanagement. Maybe illness can even some kind of cut down, because if you can't work anymore to bring the money and all that, then you are used to, I always say, when you are used to eating a big stuff or spending big, and then now you don't have it, it's really difficult. And people get crazy. And on the flip side, sometimes you think that, when there's no money in the marriage, the marriage is not nice. On the flip side, sometimes when there's a lot of money in the marriage, then there's trouble. Because now people are thinking property.
Yeah.
They're thinking of what am I going to get?
Yeah.
And all that. So then they start fighting. You are using too much money on your family. You are using too much money on your friends.
Okay.
You are partying too much. And some people think that, especially men who bring in a lot of money, then they think that they are bringing the money, so they become controlling, which I'll talk about as a change in the negative sense. You know, then they become negative because he's put the money there, he's giving you everything, sit at home, become controlling. Yeah. You know, so those are some of the things. So you have to be able to plan as to how, when you have enough money or a lot of money, how you're going to manage it, how you're going to use it, so that everybody is satisfied. If you don't have enough, or if you've had and you become short of it, or you don't have enough, you started off, there's no money, how you have to manage yourself so that the money issue will not bring a lot of bickering.
Okay.
Yes. And then you make new friends. Sometimes you might move to a new, even when you marry, you leave your parents and go and live. So you make friends with your neighbors or office.
Is that the third one?
That's the third one, yes. You learn new hobbies because maybe you go to work, you meet more people and all that. Hey, do you swim or do you golf or whatever? And then you follow friends. Okay, why not try it? Somebody can, even a friend can buy you some kind of a golf kit, which will let you start it or something. But that only develops you as an individual, which is also good, which is also part of the changes that will come. But then when you develop some of these new interests that is apart from you, because sometimes you and your partner would have so many things in common, but it will not be permanent. I mean, it is very ridiculous for anybody to think that whatever we do in relationships would stay permanent. It is ridiculous, because you'll be deceiving yourself when you work with that kind of mindset, and you won't be able to how do you call it, face it or deal with it as you should. Okay, then the last two I'll quickly mention is the negative. When the person becomes controlling, it is negative, it's a red flag. When you are in a relationship and the changes is going into that side, that your partner is becoming controlling, telling you what to wear, what to say, you know, reprimanding your thoughts and opinions and all that. Hey, check it.
What usually brings that about, though? That particular one?
Like I said, finance supremacy. The person feels that, hey, or sometimes maybe the woman did not go to school, is not well educated. It's either way. Or the woman is well educated, the man is not that educated. And then that kind of thing come. Or some people, it's just their nature that they are controlling by their temperament. Yes. And then the other one, the last one that I'll add to it, which is also negative, will be that sometimes we lose empathy. You don't feel when your partner is going through a difficult time, you no more feel for them. You can't put yourself in their shoes. You when they are talking, you just brush them off. I'm not ready for you right now. I'm busy. My thoughts are on something else. I'm watching my football. Don't come and disturb me. And all those kind of things. They are red flags, because it means that you are disconnected. You know, you are disconnected, and some of those things can lead to like abrupt stop of how do you call it, stopping of sex. It's a red flag. It's also a negative change. That fine, it's up and down. You bloom and then you come down. You bloom and then come down. But if it becomes sudden, all of a sudden, your partner doesn't want you to touch her or touch him. He doesn't get work done, or he doesn't get excited even when you do the usual things. You have to look at that. It's a negative change. Those are the ones that can break the relationship, and we have to look at that. Yes.
All right, thank you. I think that it will be good for people to reach out to you to find out what to do, you know, when they get into these kind of situations, especially with the negative ones, you know, what to do with them and all that. Where can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, like I said, Facebook. Facebook is Mary Roseki. Even though I'm on Instagram and all that, Twitter, but it's not active. I've not been using it. So
Facebook, Mary Roseki.
Yes. Mary Roseki. And even Twitter, maybe if I should just activate it, and get on.
All right, so that was Mary Rose
Yes,
Saki there. She's a counselor and an entrepreneur, and she's been helping us to look at the 5 things that can possibly happen in long-term relationships, changes that we should expect that will happen to us. And then, you can get in touch with her. She'll help you to, if you're already discovering these things are happening in your life and you need help, get in touch with her, Mary Rose Saki on Facebook.
Hi there. We hope you enjoyed the show.
Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share with your friends.
This is Breakfast Daily on Citi TV.
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Join us for breakfast daily, only on Citi TV.